Hello. Nice to meet you. Hello.
He's doing a documentary in New Year about festivals. And he wanted to put a beat. I'm Les Seaman.
Les.
Right, I'm Les. And this is Brian.
I'm Ryan Goddard.
What's your one?
So, can I ask you, what's your role in the sword dances?
Well, I'm just a dancer, but Les is the lead dancer.
I'm the captain
He's
at
the
the moment. Yes, I'm the captain. And I've been dancing with the team since 1957. And we've been dancing Boxing Day since 1963 here. And Touchwood, I've danced every single one since 63 at Handsworth. And we've just done a tour, started at Richmond Park and the old folks home down there, and then we went to Woodhouse to the Cross, and at 11:15 we danced there and came up to Handsworth to dance at 12. It is unique, not unique, no, it's peculiar in a way to Yorkshire long sword dancing, as opposed to the shorter sword dancing, which is a rapper sword dancing. And therefore that's our tradition. The dance was collected by Cecil Sharp, who was the founder of the English Folk Dance and Song Society, and he collected it here in 1913. But our records, photographic records, go back to 1891, but written records go back to early part of that 19th century.
And can I just ask you, for someone who perhaps hasn't been to see you before, what they can expect to see?
Well, you can expect to see quite a varied show, because we always do a play. Sometimes it's our local play, which involves the killing of a large sheep who jumps around. It's the Derby Top, and that's a local play that's been done around these villages for, I don't know, certainly 100 years. And then, of course, we sometimes do a mummers play, a sword play, which is a sort of play that was done in Yorkshire, because we do longsword dancing, you see, and we're the furthest south of any longsword team in the country. And of course Sheffield is unique in having two traditional longsword teams, Grenoside and Handsworth, so it's quite a tradition really. And so we do the play, and then we do some singing, we're keen on singing, and then we do some then we do the dance.
Well, my name's Jeanette Lockwood, and I'm the daughter of Bill Siddall, who was the captain of the sword dancing team, and the granddaughter of John Henry Siddall, who was the captain of the sword dancing team before then.
Ah, so can you remember your first time you ever saw the dance?
Yes, well, I can't remember my grandfather, he died before I was born, but my father used to have meetings in our house there on Medlock Road, and they used to come around on Sundays and have meetings. I can remember all the other sword dances and the uniforms, and because I think the family got involved with making some of these. They were all miners to start with, yeah. And I can remember them dancing. I can't remember the first time that we were taken. You know, I was taken to see them here. It's always been here. So
It seems a very complicated dance to watch. Does it take a lot of rehearsal?
They rehearse every week. The parish hall behind the church.
Yeah.
As you can see, a lot of them are getting on a bit in years, and it is a complicated dance, and you have to be quite agile.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know they've had a bit of a drive on to try and get new people interested. I've got a granddaughter, I've got a son. He's been saying to my granddaughters today, they're letting girls in now, but they're not interested.
Well, I'm Steve Redfern, lived in Handsworth all my life, lived here for 68 years. Ever since sword dancers have been performing on Boxing Day, I've always come up and enjoyed the show, enjoyed the singing and aftermath of the performance in the Cross Keys. But it seems like tradition's dying off, nobody seems to be bothered about these sort of things nowadays. Which is a great pity, because it's really good what they do. They do this dance and they do a little play as well.
I'm about to die, as you can plainly see. sharp, shining swords will put an end to me.
Oh, no, they won't.
Oh, yes, they will.
Oh, no, they will.
Eileen Pygott. I live on Richmond Road at Handsworth.
Shoot him again.
And yesterday it was Boxing Day,
Yes.
and the sword dancers were dancing. Can you say a little bit about?
Well, yes, it's something all local people like to see, even if they can get up to St Mary's on Boxing Day. They do. There are fewer older ones now, but it's still carrying on, and I hope it does go on and won't fold as the dancers get older, and perhaps, you know, the younger ones maybe don't have that interest. But all my life, when they've been dancing, I've tried to go to watch. I really like it. It's a lovely tradition. Well, they sort of, people crowd outside the church midday. The dancers come up and they're in the middle of the crowd, as it were, forming like a little arena. And after that, they have one or two laughs and jokes with the folks stood around. And they start with a little kind of play thing that, is it a tuck or something they have that they go around and...
Oh, my, what a disgrace.
And then after they've done this little, get people in the mood and happy and laughing, they go into their dance. And they really do dance well. They're older now, all of them, but they're very, very agile. I mean, it's something I couldn't do now, at their age, as it were. But it's lovely to see. And the nice thing about it is you see faces from the old days that you rarely see now in Handsworth. And it's lovely to be recognised and to recognise other people you went to school with.
Sweet bells, sweet chiming Christmas bells. Sweet bells, sweet chiming Christmas bells.
And what's your favourite part? Because there's a bit of drama, a bit of...
Well, I like the actual dancing, and I love it at the end when the swords all mesh together. And I do, you know, and it's always the same music. And it always reminds me of my father, you know. I'm not so bad now, but I used to have a little tea, you know, for a while. And then my brother was the only living Siddall left, with the surname Siddall. He's died this year, but we did manage to bring him up last Boxing Day to see them, because he's been living abroad as well. So it's quite a bit like that today.
Yeah,
but
that's lovely. Thank you very much.
The guys who was doing it, they're not getting any younger. There seem to be, nobody seems to be wanting to train to do it lately. I think they must be all in their 60s who's doing it. So I think once these have gone, if they can't get any younger people in to do it, it's just going to be a dying tradition, which would be a great pity, because we're losing his village status and we're losing our own culture.
So you're actually looking to recruit new members?
We are
from
desperately,
Sheffield?
really. I mean, we're really keen that this tradition should carry on and go on. I mean, we've been dancing continuously for the last, well, certainly outside here since 1960. But before that, the dance was danced in this area certainly since 1870, we know. And that's a unique tradition, and it would be a great shame if it died out in the future. But
I really like it and hope it carries on.